In the town where I live there are two churches, one where Mass is celebrated every Sunday, and the other where no one dares to enter due to a series of strange. Nobody dares to enter due to a series of strange events still unexplained. I have always wondered why they abandoned the other church, but not even the priest dares to talk about it. It is as if what happened there somehow forced everyone to keep silent on the subject. When I was born, the church was already abandoned, and the only thing they told me was that for no reason I should not go near that. That I should not go near that place because strange things were happening, and that if I went in there my parents would not be able to protect me from what was there. Protect me from what was there. One day I met with my friends to play baseball in the town park that was right next to the church. We were having a lot of fun until someone threw the ball too hard and it went into the church. That was the end of the game. This was the only ball we had and no one dared to enter that place. At least that's what I thought. One of my friends proposed to go and get the ball, but no one agreed until he went on his own. We decided to follow him so as not to leave him alone. The door was locked with keys, but we found a hole big enough to get in. To enter. Once inside the abandoned church, we saw that everything was in perfect condition. Even the seats. The only thing was that it was a bit dark. The ball was going to be impossible to find, since the place was so big. Instead we found, which scared us a lot, since it was not there when we entered, and it is quite strange to find something like that in a church. To find something like that in an abandoned church. One of my friends went over to have a look. I decided to follow him, and inside there was a person. It was a young man whose clothing was from a very ancient time. Something like the 20th century. Suddenly the church bells began to ring. The young man who was inside and gave us a little crazy look. We tried to get out of the church, but the doors were stuck, so we went inside. We tried to get out of the church, but the doors were jammed, so we entered through a dark alley that led to a tunnel under the church. It was a secret place, at least I never heard the adults in town talk about this subway tunnel. There were tools there, God knows what kind of atrocities. The tunnel seemed endless, and in some parts there were dungeons. It was probably a prison. Ancient, I thought. Suddenly we saw a light in the distance of the tunnel, and that light was heading towards us, advancing so fast that in the blink of an eye we were already in the middle of the tunnel. Blink of an eye, it was already a few meters closer. We ran back to the exit in a hurry, but it was faster than us and almost caught up with us. We managed to get out of the tunnel, and then we saw the hole through which we entered the church, and we were also able to get out of there. At that moment we realized why that place was so dangerous. As for the ball, we never found it again and never bothered to look for it. I left work late one weekend night, and there was no cab on the corner where I always take transportation. The only option I had available was to go home by train, but I found it a nightmare, as it was a place where there was little. But it seemed like a nightmare, since it was a place where there was little cleanliness and it was always smelly and dirty. But I had no choice but to go home by train. I had no choice but to run to try to catch the last train. I entered the station and there was no one there, not even a security guard that I could ask if there were any trains available. If there were any trains still available. I stood there for a while, but saw no signs. Suddenly I saw a girl on the other side of the station who was going to take the train to the opposite side of town from where I was going. It gave me some peace of mind since at least I wasn't the only one there, but everything started to turn dark when the girl appeared on the other side of the station. Dark when the girl appeared on the side of the station where I was. I didn't even realize how. I just saw that she was there, and on the other side there was no one. I didn't know whether to run or just stand there to hide. But fear got the better of me, and I tried to sneak out of the station. But it was closed. When I turned around to look for another exit, she was behind me. Only a few meters away. I ran into a gas station and stayed there for a while. I looked through the grates of the door and he was gone. It was stifling hot in that place, so I decided to go out. I still didn't see that girl, so I thought she was gone. But it didn't take long for her to appear. She was covered in blood and was crying. I ran quickly to help her, But suddenly I fell to the ground, and when I got up she was gone. When I got up she was gone. I knew I was in trouble and that this girl was not a human. At least not flesh and bones. I heard a noise in the ceiling and looked up. What I saw filled me with fear, but I still found it hard to believe. To believe it. She was climbing on the roof and looking at me as if she was going to attack me. Suddenly a train passed by, but it didn't stop. Apparently it was out of service and was being taken to the train depot. Train depot. I had to find a quick solution and I went through a ventilation duct. But the girl followed me and almost caught me. Almost caught me, but I managed to kick her face with my foot. I took advantage of the fact that she was disoriented and advanced as fast as I could. But she was fast because she was very angry and wanted to hurt me. I saw an exit to the street, but it had some bars which I had to break to get out. Outside she grabbed my arm and wouldn't let go. With my other arm I grabbed the fence and hit her head and managed to get free. I managed to get free. I immediately put the bars in place and managed to run out, but I collapsed. I didn't hear from him until the next day when a lady woke me up. The next day when a lady woke me up, I collapsed on the sidewalk and woke up there. With the girl, I don't know what happened. Everything seemed to be going normally and the train station was operating as usual. On the TV in a restaurant that was right next to the train station, I saw the image of the girl who had attacked me the night before. She was the daughter of the governor of the city. There they said that she had 2 days ago for unknown reasons and that she had been buried yesterday at 6 o'clock in the evening. I was in shock, because when the girl attacked me it was 10 o'clock at night. After that day I only use the train if I see a lot of people on it.